Alright guys and gals, what I've got for you today is easy sauerkraut, okay? Now, there's not a whole lot to making sauerkraut. It's a very, very simple recipe, okay? There's only two ingredients that you need. One of them is cabbage, okay? The other ingredient you need is salt. This is kosher salt. I believe you can use any kind of salt excuse me, that is not iodized. You don't want to use an iodized salt, okay? So those are the two simple ingredients, cabbage and salt. Now, the proportion you want of cabbage to salt is you want to chop and weigh your cabbage, okay? You want a digital kitchen scale to do that. Weigh out your cabbage, and then the measurement of salt that you use is 2% of the weight of the cabbage. Like this one was, excuse me, 1,655 grams or something like that. You know, quick math, I ended up using 33 grams of kosher salt. So as far as the equipment goes, you know, obviously you're going to need a bowl. You need some sterilized jars. You want, of course, a canning funnel to make things easy. I'm going to be using a muddler today. A ladle just to, you know, help with things. And today we're going to be using fermentation lids. And I'll show you those, okay? And these are to keep air out and to keep the vegetables down below the brine, okay? So the lid, it just has a little vent here where it will allow the fermentation process to take place, because it will cause gases to form inside the jar, building up pressure, and this will release the gas, okay? So that's a two-piece thing. So the first thing you'll put in once you have your cabbage inside the jar is this, it's like a spring thing with almost like a potato masher on the bottom of it. It's called a, let me see, I got the box right here. If you can see that, these are fermentation lids and springs. Now my buddy Dan's wife, Tina, she put me onto these. She showed me that she was using these, and I thought, hey, that's a great idea. So I went over and I found these at, I found them over at Tractor Supply, or TSC, as it's known for us Canadians. And it's a ball canning product. So hopefully it's going to be a high quality product, and we'll have good results with it. You're going to need a method to chop up your cabbage, whether it's a knife and a cutting board, or you could use you know, your food processor, whichever you like. But yeah, first step is chop up your cabbage. Second step, weigh it. This is another piece of equipment you'll need. Digital kitchen scale. Chop up your cabbage, weigh it, do your quick math, add your 2% salt, and then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to work that salt in through the cabbage, just like this. Now your cabbage will compress quite a lot. Like this bowl was full of cabbage before I started working the salt into it and through it. And I'm not sure if you can see, but what the salt will do is it will extract a bunch of water, turning it into a salt brine. Now, I'm sure you can see in the bottom here all the liquid that's being extracted from this cabbage, okay? So that's pretty much it. You got to work it really good until you get a nice amount of liquid. Because like I said, you're going to want that cabbage to stay below your liquid. Now I'm just going to clean up my hands, and we'll start putting this into jars and show you how I do that, okay? Okay, so yeah, this is a very, very simple plain sauerkraut. You can fancy it up if you want to by adding some fennel seeds maybe some shaved carrot. You can just use like a vegetable peeler and peel some thin threads of carrot into it. It makes it very nice. It'll come out with a licorice flavor. Personally, I like the plain one, so that's what we're doing here today, okay? Alright, let's get my hands dried up here and we'll start getting this into a jar. I'll show you how I put this into a jar. Just push this back a little wee bit, slide a bit of that out of the way, and we'll get our jar in place, and we'll start jarring some of this up, okay? Hopefully you guys and gals can see that okay. So I'm just going to use my ladle here, and right in it goes. Hopefully right in it goes. Maybe not. That's what the muddler's for. To help this down through your funnel. Okay? Now this is one head of cabbage. And one head of cabbage, like I said, pretty much filled that bowl. And you can see how it condensed so much. It went from a full bowl down to maybe half a bowl. So hopefully I'm going to get 2 quarts out of this. I may only end up getting 1 quart and 1 pint. So you want to put it into the jar like that, and then you want to pack it down like this, okay? Oh yeah, I may get, well, we'll see. I've only got half a jar there so far, so we may see how far this compresses down, and we'll just see what we get, okay? Go in with our muddler. So happy Saturday, everyone. I hope everyone's well and safe. This video is, yeah, I guess it's part of, you know, preserving your harvest for fall, getting your pantry prepped up for winter, those kinds of things. But very, very simple recipe, so easy to do. Like I said, 2 ingredients, cabbage and salt. Now, if you have an old cabbage around, and you end up using that to do this, it may not produce as much liquid as a fresh cabbage. You can sort through it before you put the salt in. If you don't like big pieces in, just take that out. So yeah, if you could find yourself with a cabbage that doesn't produce as much liquid, what you can do is you can make up your own brine, okay? You want to use a nice pure water. You don't want to use chlorinated tap water. Use a nice pure water. Weigh out your water with your kitchen scale. And then again, you will add 2% of the water's weight of salt to get your 2% salt brine. And you can just top up your, cover your cabbage with that that brine, because you want your cabbage below the liquid level. I think I'm going to put just a little wee bit more in here. See where that takes us. Okay, yeah, here we go. So I hope everyone's well and safe, having a good weekend. You know, getting some stuff harvested from the garden, getting it processed and put back. Okay, so hopefully you guys and gals can see that well enough. Can you see the liquid that's starting to form at the top there as I muddle this down? That's the whole idea. To extract that liquid to a point where the liquid completely covers your cabbage, okay? Now I'm just going to remove this funnel here, and I'm going to go at the muddler without the funnel. Yeah, this may well produce 2 nice quarts of sauerkraut. You know, you're not only preserving your harvest, you're making something very, very tasty. Obviously, you know, if you like sauerkraut. And once the fermentation process is done, you've created a nice probiotic, which is great for your gut health. So this is starting to look pretty good. So what I'm going to do now, well, I'm just going to muddle this a little wee bit more because I definitely want those liquids to be covering the vegetables. I think we've got it there. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. That's not looking bad at all. I'm looking forward to having some of this with some bratwurst in about 2 weeks, which is pretty much how long I'm going to let this ferment. I like a 2-week ferment on my sauerkraut. Anything longer than that starts to get a little bit strong for me. But you know, test it out and see which one you guys like. Okay, so now comes the part where we put the lid on this spring and the fermentation lid. All you do is you take your mashed potato end of the spring, drop it in so that the mashed potato end is on top of your vegetables. Then you simply take your fermentation ring, drop it on there, and turn it nice and tight. Now, all we're going to do with this, in order to allow this to ferment, I'm basically going to leave it on the counter or the kitchen table for a couple of weeks. I'll cover it with a towel probably just to keep it out of the light. But that's about it. That's all you have to do. Of course, I'll check it every couple of days to you know, just visually check its progress, see how it's doing. And after a couple of weeks, I'll give it a taste test, and if it's fermented to the point where I like it, I'll remove the spring and the fermentation lid, and I'll replace that with just regular canning lids and flats. So I hope this shows you guys and gals how easy that is to make your own sauerkraut from scratch. Like I said, it was 1 head of cabbage. I didn't grow any cabbage myself this year, so my cost was $2 plus, you know, whatever 33 grams of salt cost. Very, very little. Pretty much $2, and I'll get about 2 quarts of very nice sauerkraut out of this. So I hope everyone learns, enjoys, and you know, try this recipe. If there was any confusion about fermenting or anything like that, it's so simple to do. It's your vegetables and salt. Cabbage and salt. That's it, guys and gals. So give it a try. Let me know how you make out, okay? Stay well and safe all. We'll see you on the live stream tonight. This is going to be North. Out for now.